Hello, everyone, and welcome to the post-race interviews for WCS's Megane's Round 3 event of Season 5. We've just been racing, charging around the Assen circuit, and we've got some of our podium and big featured drivers alongside to have a good old chinwag with us. My name's Simon Smith. Making this all possible is Alex Skinner, and our first driver of the evening to chat to is Mr. Roy Schroten, who is second overall in the championship by some wily performances and drives, but for the first time really this season, you were right in the thick of it up front on pace, pure and simple. So how was this evening for you?
Yeah, good evening. Thanks for having me. It felt a lot better than the last few races. Of course, Assen being my home track, I like Zandvoort more, but I won't tell that to that many Dutchies because we'll get a huge argument. But it felt very good. I was happy to be up front in race 1 for the first time this season instead of just poking around in race 2. So that definitely feels good. I'm happy to have been able to hold Yuri behind me. That was also a first this season, and I'm happy with the double podiums on my home Grand Prix.
Yes, I'd forgot it's home Grand Prix. Extra drink for you. There will be much, I'd imagine, inter-team talk, though, about a certain touch between yourself and your teammate that may not have helped Poornaranjan for his race. Talk us through that, or did you not see that as much of an issue?
I'm not really sure about what contact you mean, but I'm the team boss, so he should be quiet. But I have no idea. I don't think I touched him, but at least I didn't notice. But I didn't really want to battle him in race 1, but then he had a few poor first laps of the race, so I really wanted to pass him to try and keep up with Yuri. And if he had tried to attack me again, I would have let him pass without not too much issues. But in the end, he had his own issues, unfortunately, and I just kept going.
Excellent, thank you. And then one final question for you, Roy. Where you've really excelled is how you've been able to score really well in both the feature race, normally through strategy, or as it was today with pure pace as well, but also on the reverse grid races where you're able to capitalize on that mixture around on grids and bringing it home really well. We saw you kind of come off better, I guess, from a bouncing Caitlin Penny out of the barriers and stuff like that. How do you take your mindset into that sprint race that's enabling you to capitalize and bring home those points that you think maybe some other drivers could do well to benefit from?
Oh, race 2 is always very intense. You have to overtake a lot of people and you're starting in the mid-pack. In the first corner I just went very wide because I knew there were a lot of cars on the inside who would probably spin. So the key is just to take it easy in those opening laps and then try to avoid all the accidents that will happen. And try to avoid crashing Caitlin. That was very scary.
Well, go and enjoy your double podium home Grand Prix. I expect the beers will be on Roy. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Let's move on to the championship leader. And although he didn't quite get all of the accolades this evening for the first time this season, I think Yuri Kasdorp can be very pleased with extending his championship lead and taking home the sprint race victory. How was that for you, Yuri? Because after a leery moment in quali, you had plenty to do throughout that race.
Oh yeah, qualifying wasn't ideal. And then the first race by start was good, but I made too many mistakes. And then I was side by side with Chris. And I think we both didn't really know the curve on the inside was that high. So had some nice jumping, and then after that I just tried to salvage the race.
So when we was talking about, I saw your comment in the chats in between races where you were saying that Assen is a very, very narrow track and it's quite difficult to get these big Meganes around to hike through specific positions. We did see you do a couple of quite juicy overtakes though. Talk us through some of those decent ones for you, and also what you'd like to, what you're ideally looking for Megane races in the future.
I don't know which overtake you're talking about. They were mostly just taking advantage of people making mistakes in front.
Oh, I thought there was one down into the final corner, but maybe it wasn't you. But yeah, talk us about the fact that the track was quite narrow and that you was struggling to overtake. How does that kind of set you up? Do you put pressure on the driver then in that way to try and force those mistakes? And do you feel that you forced them?
Yeah, it's just trying to force a mistake, trying to be really close behind someone, and if the guy in front just moves over early, you can just pretty much drive in the middle of the track and just block the whole track. So you have to try to just force a mistake or make like a really late dive.
Cool. And then I guess the burning question, I remember seeing earlier on, you was like, sometimes I don't get to play in all of the races of a season after I start off so well. How's your calendar looking for Donington, Brands and Imola?
I do not know yet.
Uh-oh!
It should be right. I rushed home from Le Mans. I woke up this morning in Le Mans, so I rushed home all day to make this race.
Crikey! Well, do you know what? Bonus question. How was it being at Le Mans? I want to know. Tell us all.
Oh, it's amazing. Le Mans
Where was
amazing. We stayed at the Porsche Curves. Camping.
How good is that?
Yeah, it's amazing. I would recommend it to anyone. If you have the chance to go to Le Mans, go to Le Mans.
Super jealous now. I see everyone abandoning this video and going off and booking some tickets for next year. Thank you very much, Yuri. We hope to see you in Donington. Get some rest and some sleep. It sounds like you deserve it.
Yeah, I need it. I really need it.
Thank you very much. Our championship leader there, Yuri Kasdorp. Third and final on to the drivers is Mr. High Jump Extraordinaire gold medalist from the Assen Grand Prix, Heigo Poom. Wow. From what was looking like a pretty certain nigh on P5 in race 1, you went tumbling. Talk us through that and how that affected then the rest of your evening of racing, because you was on for something really strong until it flipped you off.
Yeah, it just flipped me off is just like the perfect thing to say about that. It wasn't like something I wasn't expecting. I was expecting some sort of damage after going over those bumps, because I did make a human error and outbraked myself. But I did not expect that the car would start flipping when going over those curbs. That was the rising point for me. And after that, just things went downhill. Race 1 finished with a really broken car, surprisingly. And race 2, in the start, I was already rammed off by somebody. I think it was one of those epic cars. He just probably didn't see me, so I don't put too much blame on him. And after that, he got on a curb and won, and just nothing really happened after that.
But you showed grit and determination and came through and picked up at least some points to add to your tally, which is all very good. Assen itself is a bit of an anomaly because of the way how the track layout is much more bike focused rather than car focused, I guess. Donington and Brands and Imola are a bit more tracks that you can attack with. Are you hoping for a bit more of a cleaner run to consolidate your clear top 5 pace that you potentially have?
Definitely. Assen is just a track that I enjoyed at all. I was hoping, because I've never driven it, that I will like it, but that was not the case. In Brands Hatch and Imola, I definitely will perform better, because those are the tracks what I'm comfortable driving at. I'm hoping a good, stronger result there.
Excellent. Well, we shall keep an eye out for you there. So yeah, thank you very much, Heigo. That has been most appreciative. Go and rest yourself and have a consolatory drink. I think it's deserved. And look out for yourself on a highlights reel. I can guarantee that one for sure.
Yeah, it probably will be the flip of the year for sure.
Thank you. So thank you so much, everyone, for sticking around for this post-race interview video. Stay tuned for more racing action here on WCS League. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.